Hello and welcome to News Today. My name is Kimini Nyamani Amano. On the program this afternoon, we'll tell you the significance of Boxing Day as the world marks the day today. Should Christians celebrate it at all? Stay on, I'll be telling you more. Also, Asamoah Gyan confirms offer from West Ham but says he is in no position to decide. I'll tell you more on that. Don't go away. Stay on. I'll be right back with details of the stories and plenty more. My name is Kimini Nyamani Amano. Welcome back to the Boxing Day edition of News Today. Now, as to how it evolved and its significance to Christmas celebrations, Boxing Day is today, and Reverend Tete Jangba, who is the senior pastor of the True Vine Charismatic Church International, has been giving us some perspectives into how Boxing Day has become associated with Christmas celebrations on News Desk earlier this morning. Let's take a listen.
Well, I'm wondering why it's become part of Christmas. Well, the scripture says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. So God loved the world, and the demonstration of his love was to give. Love is not passive, love is active, and love is expressed in various forms. And one of the forms in which it is expressed is through giving. And similarly, since this period connotes, love, it is in line with biblical principles.
Officials of the Ghana Tourism Authority have been telling Joynews on some strides the authority has struggled during the period. They made the revelation on the AM show with Joynews' Roland Walker.
The tourism continues to grow steadily. Based on figures of 2012 and 2013, we've seen a percentage increase, about 10 to 12% increase in tourism arrivals and receipts. Well, I wouldn't say we are satisfied with the inflows. The reason is that we could have done better. If you look at the extent of our marketing, which is far below that of countries like South Africa, Seychelles, Mauritius, and others. If we improve our marketing and promotion aspect, we will get more people coming to Ghana.
The Ghana Tourism Federation has also been asking government to support it in basic training to improve the sector.
You cannot do marketing, effective marketing, without thinking about the training aspect. Because when you look at even Ghana, you go to most of the tourism sites or the facilities, you could see that service delivery is very, very poor. One, because we are not seeing tourism as it's supposed to be seen. Go to the countries like Thailand, go to the country like UK, because they are focused on tourism. They know tourism generates a lot of income to GDP. They always concentrate and focus on tourism. And government release a lot of funds to support that. But here in Ghana, I think these are some of the challenges that we are facing. Basic training. There's time the government has to come and then look at the private sector holistic.
For some expectant mothers, they hatched the best gift on Christmas Day. 34 babies were delivered at some hospitals in the capital through normal deliveries and cesarean sessions. Health officials note all babies are healthy. Here's a report by Yafuso Ajimfi.
Though the outpatient departments of the various hospitals were empty with less activity, the maternity wards were busy just as normal days. Doctors and midwives went about their normal duties. Imagine how it will be like racing to the maternity ward on Christmas Day. But for expectant mothers, their wish and hope is to deliver safely without any complications. Here at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, we talk to mothers who gave birth on Christmas Day who revealed their experience during labor.
Name first time.
Bedtime now way.
Bed 3 6. Yeah, ready.
You take it how many hours?
More than 6 hours. But na me dey shame me so na me say private TV na ye me ko dey watch me kasa watch ni na ha me so one of private before me kuno ba nyumbre no see enye awache bia me die na ya ho na ka.
By 12 p.m. Wednesday at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, December 25, 2013, 15 babies had been delivered. 7 males and 8 females, with 11 normal deliveries and 4 cesareans.
As of now, we have about 10 more cesarean sections to do. In fact, we have 4 planned cesarean sections which haven't been touched yet. We're only doing emergencies, so we are using 2 theaters, so it's quite slow. If we had about 4 or 5 theaters, I'm sure we would have cleared this backlog by now.
At the Ridge Hospital, a total of 9 babies, including a set of twins, had been delivered as at 3 p.m.
Last year, as compared to this year, last year was very hectic. But this December, we didn't have enough or as we had last year.
For Matilda Inti, she least expected giving birth on Christmas Day. But after 4 hours of being in labor, her female twins were delivered safely without complications. She tells me she has named her twins Jesus Lena Senior and Junior. Granny Sam, I would say, was the happiest man I met at the La General Hospital. His granddaughter was among the 10 babies delivered at the hospital on Christmas Day.
It's a very big gift to me because I've already got 2 grandchildren who are boys, and I think 3. So the 4th one is this one, and so I'm very happy that I've got a girl.
For the midwives who helped mothers deliver their babies on Christmas Day, though they couldn't join their family members at home to celebrate, they said it was worth spending the day at the hospital.
This is my job. God has given it to me, so I feel good serving them because it's the same work that Jesus Christ did that we are doing. So we feel good.
Well, in their own way, they had a chance to enjoy themselves. Yafuswa Jimfi, reporting for Joy News.
Best gifts ever. You should be given some more gifts today. It's Boxing Day. Let's move on to some other stories. And the naming of the only primary school in the Buepa Authority resettlement area in the Banda district of the Bonohafu region is causing disagreement among 3 communities. According to the chief of Bato, Akanya Krum, one of the communities, the BPA, assured them of replacement of their primary school prior to their relocation.
This is the primary school in contention. The chief of Akanya Krum wants the school to bear the name Akanya Krum Catholic School, but the chief of Bui disagrees. A letter to the various chiefs clearly indicates that this is not a replacement for the former Akanya Krum school that was lost. So I understand that at present, this primary school has no name. The chief of Bato Akanya Krum, Togbi Kpakpa Agbesi II, does not, however, object to the enrollment of children from other communities. He fears his community may not get back the 60-year-old school they lost when their village was submerged by the Volta River when it was impounded.
As we were already having our school, our materials, including teachers, furniture, everything inclusive, school records, everything, we couldn't leave them there. We brought everything. So surprisingly, they told me that that is not our school, which was existing over there. This is BPA, whatever, established school. Therefore, they will have to compensate our school. But do you know what? Before they came to this decision, by then, the whole community has submerged.
2 communities, Bui and Dokochina, will however not accept this easily.
We are losing a lot. We have lost land. You understand? But the government has not compensated us. But we are staying here. For now, the school here is a community school where we have diverse
religious denominations. They are Muslims, we are fat and what. And each of them had a school. So if you are saying that your name should be on the school, that means you are trying to deprive somebody.
The 6-unit classroom block, according to the Bui Power Authority, is to enroll pupils from the community it is located in and surrounding ones.
You're watching News Today. My name is Kimini Nyamani. I'll be right back. You're welcome back to News Today. Now, the Catholic Bishop of the Wa Diocese of the Catholic Church, Dr. Paul Bemile, has called on Ghanaians to remain peaceful. According to him, Ghana is enjoying peace and all efforts should be made to maintain it for development. Dr. Bemile took advantage of the festive season in Wa and the Upper West region at an evening mass to address members of the church. Here's a report by Rafiq Salam.
The St. Andrew's Cathedral Catholic Church was filled to capacity when the bells sounded, welcoming the arrival of the Bishop of the Wa Diocese, Dr. Paul Bemile. Dr. Paul Bemile's sermon highlighted 3 main areas. He spoke about the need to cater for children who are dying of hunger, the need to give home to the homeless and propagate peace. He told the worshippers that Christmas is a day for all and sundry to rejoice because Jesus Christ came to the world. He, however, expressed worry some are unable to afford 3 square meals a day and called for support for such persons.
And from Hamlin to Accra, you see that we are becoming more and more a desert. So how can we produce the food? And when we burn the grass, there is acid that goes into the soil and makes the land fruitless. The land cannot produce anything. So each of us are causing the hunger in the world. We blame the other people in America or in Europe who are able to eat. And in fact, when you see the amount of food that is wasted in Europe, in America, and even in our country, for instance, go to our hotels and see how much food is thrown away. This food would have been used to feed.
The Wasafiase traditional area and the Western region has inaugurated a 16-member development committee. This committee is to assist the district assembly in expediting development in the area.
The Wasafiase traditional area, despite its abundance in natural resource, is one of the most deprived areas in the Western region. The 16-member committee, known as the Osagifo Development Committee, has the mandate of mobilizing resources, especially from the various mining communities in the area, to facilitate development. The municipal chief executive for Takwan Suaim, in a speech read on her behalf by the presiding member, Joseph Abanmensa, congratulated the paramount chief for the initiative and pledged the Assembly's support. The paramount chief of Wasafiase traditional area, Osagifo Dr. Kwamina Enemil, said some of the projects to be executed by the committee include the provision of boreholes, street lights, rehabilitation of roads, among others. He pledged to recruit experts to work with the Assembly in executing projects. The paramount chief donated seed money of 10,000 Ghana cedis to the committee. The chairman of the committee, Benjamin Asari-Ankra, on behalf of the members, pledged to collaborate with stakeholders to achieve their given mandate.
Ward executives and the youth of the Tamale Central Constituency of the ruling National Democratic Congress have pledged their commitment in helping the Member of Parliament for the constituency, Alhaji Inusuf Hussaini, and President of the Republic of Ghana, John Mahama, to succeed in their numerous promises to the constituent and the Better Ghana agenda. The executive spoke at a press conference in Tamale.
The press conference was to call off the earlier boycott of all party activities in the constituency. It was also to disassociate themselves from a press statement issued by a group calling itself the Concerned Youth of Tamale, wanting the president to fire Alhaji Inusuf Hussaini as the Minister for Lands and Forestry. The spokesperson of the ward executive in the Tamale Central Constituency, Issa Dabali, said the statement issued by the Concerned Youth of Tamale does not represent the views of the majority of the people of Tamale.
This is the way to go. And we cannot fail to appreciate the positive development. No. However, more needs to be done. No. 3. On the 2-week ultimatum to the president, we say in no uncertain terms that it was totally uncalled for. Demonstrations in Tamale Central is not and cannot be a panacea to our problem.
Issa Dabali said the interest of the youth and ward executives of the constituency for now is to help the MP and the president to address the numerous challenges confronting the country. They reiterated their commitment to fight poverty, hunger, disease, youth and women empowerment. He apologized to the president and the MP on behalf of the concerned youth of Tamale for disregarding the authority of the presidency.
Christians across Ghana held church services to mark the birth of Christ. Most of the sermons delivered centered on loving one another.
Congregants sang and prayed in remembrance of the birth of Jesus Christ.
Christmas is all about Jesus Christ. Celebrating the historical or the personal character of Jesus Christ. Simply means that when God created man and he gave man opportunity to be in charge over the world, because of disobedience, we misbehave. And so we ourselves deny ourselves from the fellowship we had with God. And it took almost thousands of years before God himself became a man in the person of Jesus Christ. And somebody who is, to me, a major player is Joseph. We have 3 types of Joseph in the Bible. The first was the one who was a priest who became prime minister, and the last one was the one who gave the tomb for Jesus to be buried. But this Joseph, who happens to be, if you like, Jesus' stepfather or natural father, his story is being not told. And as I read the scriptures from Matthew chapter 1, verse 18 through 20, I realized that if Joseph had not accepted Mary's pregnancy, we are not going to have Jesus we have. What I will say is that as we are celebrating Jesus Christ, although Joseph was also the rich man, but he has left a legacy. So the question is, in your family, in your country, in your church, after your demise, what legacy are you going to be remembered for?
At the Word of Vision Chapel International, the day was dedicated to children.
The gift from God. And as a couple, when we get married, you have to get children. And they are also special in the sight of the Lord. According to Matthew chapter 18, verse 10, it says that always their angels are before the Lord, interceding for them. So we need to take good care of them, need to protect them, we need to give them a good advice so that in the near future they will come and take good care of us. So that's why I got a revelation about them that from the first month of next year to the 3rd month, something bad is going to happen to the children in this country and also across the country. So as a prophet, once I have seen it, I have to call my church members and gather them so that we will pray for them and anoint them. That's why we're having this service for them. Yeah.
Religious leaders in other churches had Christmas messages centered on love, unity and obedience.
Merry Christmas to everybody who's watching me right now. And what I would say is that they should take good care of themselves. And also, when we talk about Christmas, it means we have got a gift from God, which is Jesus Christ, who came to this earth to save our lives. So we should follow the steps of Christ and be good to each and everyone. That's all that I can say.
Let us work hard the coming year. Let us trust one another. Let bygones be bygones. Let there be reconciliation. And also trust God that what we could not do this year, 2013, God will enable us to do it in 2014.
As a newborn king is born today, my prayer is all children must be obeyed their parents and also grow up to become successful grown-ups.
And then there was a debate about whether Christ was born on 25th December or not.
25th December is the actual day that Christ was born. So we all have to be in our accord and then celebrate his birth, because he's the only person from the Bible, from the scriptures. He's the only person who came to this world to save mankind. He gave himself up. No person can do this, but he did it for us. My basis for saying that Jesus was born on the 25th, if you look at the Bible from Matthew 1:21 going, the Bible tells us that it came a time when Mary was given to Joseph to marry, and then when he married him, he was conceived. Joseph wasn't pleased with it, but the Lord revealed himself to him in a dream and told Joseph that he should accept the pregnancy because it is the doing of the Lord. So on the 25th day, Jesus was born. Nobody can dispute that, though some school of thought has been disputing it. But to me, from the Bible perspective, I personally feel yes, 25th is the actual birthday of Jesus Christ.
During the time of the Roman Emperor Constantine, he became a Christian and he turned all pagan worship places into Christian sanctuaries, and for that reason it was universally accepted to fix Christianity on this day, where people used to worship the sun god and other gods. So we accepted, and in Christianity you can choose any day to serve the Lord. It's biblical in the sense that we have the liberty to choose the days of worship ourselves according to the scriptures. Yeah.
Now, some parts of rocks hanging close to the Petroleum Lodge on the Ayumens Library Road have fallen weeks after Joynews reported of the danger. Gifty Ando Apia reports huge chips of rocks have already broken down, and commuters have expressed disappointment in authorities who they accuse of acting only after disasters have occurred. In the following report, we provide some explanation of what could be happening to the rocks on the Abri Mountains.
Huge rocks surround the curvy stretch of the road linking Abri and its environs to the capital and other important towns. Right beneath this hill, boulders which were hanging loosely are now scattered helplessly on the road. What can be described as the second seat of government, the Petroleum Lodge comfortably sit on this hill from where major government deliberations are held, albeit occasionally. On the day Joynews visited this danger site, one such meeting of government officials was ongoing, and participants in the meeting must have seen this destruction on their way uphill. The evidence that the rocks have lost their hold after centuries feeds into a bigger conversation of possible life losses as and when the actual falls of parts of the rock happen. Attempts to speak with commuters of the road was tough, as no one was comfortable parking around such danger, although they occasionally shouted from their vehicles. Eric Dumpty, a frequent user of the road, however, volunteered to express his frustration.
When they constructed the road, I think they should make a bracket whereby the rocks, when they are falling, it can be protected. Sometimes when you go to Core Mountains, they've made it there. When we're passing, we were going to Brekoso. We realized that this rock, the just one there, has fallen, but it was then flat. Within the next 15 minutes, you see what it has done. Our leaders are waiting for a disaster to happen before they will come for appel, whereby they wanted to solicit money for something, for this, whereby we can even sort this out without any disaster happening. We don't have to wait for something disaster to happen before then we move into it. It is very, very bad. Maybe if I'm driving, it can come on me. It can happen to me that whilst I'm driving, the accident is an accident. You don't know when accident may be. Okay, then and I'll be a victim. You see, so I'm appealing to our leaders to look at it, to take a very critical look at it.
Head of Geological Disasters at NADMO, Joseph Ankra, explains that although the rocks are naturally not compact, aging and other human activities are to blame for its current state. He further indicates the fragility of these rocks are partly due to blasting of the rocks during construction of the road, as well as expansion of the road some 7 years ago. Furthermore, habitation up the hill has also exposed the rocks to water, which have lubricated them, aiding its looseness. These have been coupled with little vibrations caused by vehicles that ply the road over the years.
A few months ago, layers of this rock here were threatening to come down as they hung loosely up above. As you see now, they've already crumbled down. But on my left-hand side is a thoroughfare that links the city to major places like Ebri and Petroleum. The panic of climbing up a mountain is enough to deal with when driving, but now it is laced with a crumbling down or a possible crumble down of other rocks here. As you can see here, this seems to have been used to cordon off the area.
Although there are no signs of how long ago this destruction happened, there were no signs of action afterwards either, except for this warning band, which are badly torn apart and obviously of no use. Joseph Ankra says the solution largely lies with engineering, which falls within the jurisdiction of the Ghana Highway Authority. He tells Joynews efforts made to engage highway authorities on the matter are still dangling. Joynews will follow up on this issue with the Road and Highways Authority for the necessary update.
The turbulence this downfall might have caused, and especially to drivers, can only be imagined. Gifty Andopia, Joynews, Petroleum.
Gifty Andopia is also again standing by at the New Makanda overpass, where the Second Family Foundation is feeding a number of mentally challenged persons, and brings us an update from the area. Hello, Gifty.
Hello, Kemini.
What's the latest? Have you been having fun?
Kemini, I don't know. I'm totally blown away. We're currently at the. We actually just moved from the Rockfall aspect because they're just looking for random persons with mental disability and mental challenges, and then giving them the food. And Kemini, I must tell you, it's a very touching moment. I mean, for me personally, it's been a very touching moment. And I've been speaking to some of the madmen, and I say madmen in quotes, who are getting some of the food. And there's something that is absolutely fantastic. The moment they see the food and they give them the food, it's just a very broad, beautiful smile on their faces. And they just go on and on, thanking them and saying thank you, saying God bless you. And I don't know, it's really, really touching. We are now moving to Nima, where we're told that most of these people are. So once we get there, I'll let you know. But so far that we'll be speaking, all the people who are mentally unstable from Rockfall through to the on the ring road towards GBC are all so excited about the food that is received.
How many have been fed so far?
I cannot say for sure how many have been fed so far, but from Rockfall, I could say that we fed about 15 people. 15 people, and they all are so happy and they're so grateful. And there's this man, I mean, he could just not believe it. I don't know, but it was so interesting. He could just not believe what was happening. And he just went on and mentioning his name. His name is Kwame Nkrumah. And he just went on mentioning his name, and it's just amazing. I think he found some gold or something. It's amazing. I've been moved to tears, I must confess.
I can imagine. But how about people, quote unquote, people who may not be, well, I don't need the quotes, people who may not be mentally challenged, very sane people who are in the area? Are they reacting to the gesture?
Well, they look at what's going on, and they just stop and stare. They just stop and stare, and I'm sure they're wondering. But people do understand. I mean, it's a communication that's so easily understandable. Of course, food is a communication tool that is. I mean, you don't need a lot of intellect to understand, And that is why when these madmen get the food, you see a smile on their face, and they walk off with that smile. And as we move our vehicle, I still turn around and look at them, and you still see the smile on their face. It's amazing.
Are you able to interact with any of these?
Exactly. That's what I was telling you. I have a soundbite, and it's unfortunate that we couldn't bring it to you live on TV. But when we come back, we'll let you have those, and you see. I mean, I actually interviewed some of them, and it's amazing. I mean,
and I think it goes to confirm what Jinaba, the founder of the foundation, was telling us earlier on News Desk, that not all of them are actually, mentally challenged. Some of them were before, are cured, but just is an issue of stigmatization. Do you see a lot of stigmatization going on while being with them?
Say that again to me.
I'm asking, you've been with them. Have you observed some, sane people stigmatizing?
Yes. They've not been able to tell us that they are there because of stigmatization. What I do most of the time is to ask them why they are right now. And the first one told me that he's there because his house is no more. And I mean, clearly they have a problem with their minds. I mean, with their brains as far as normal functioning is concerned. So that is established for sure. But they're not. From the way they speak, you could tell that these people, if given some kind of help, probably some kind of psychological help, they should be fine. They should be fine. Because I talked to one man who was telling me that, I asked him, do you know you're mad, or would you say you're mad? He says, I'm mad, but not all that mad.
That's interesting.
So there's this one person that I just spoke to. He couldn't really communicate. He couldn't really talk to me, but if you ask him a question, he doesn't seem to get it, and then he says something else, whatever he wants to say. But that's a special case. But the two others that I've spoken to, you realize that they're not so off, and if they get a little help, I think they should be better.
Thank you very much, Gifty. Gifty Ando-Appiah joined us on her, she's spending her Boxing Day with the Second Family Foundation. The Second Family Foundation is feeding over 200 mentally challenged persons here in Accra. You're watching News Today. I'll be right back. Thanks for staying on News Today. Let's do some business news now. The National Petroleum Authority is warning all persons engaged in the adulteration of petroleum products to desist from the practice. Officials say a new legislation to check the adulteration of petroleum products will be rolled out in February 2014, and persons caught engaging in the act risk being imprisoned or being slapped with a heavy fine.
As part of efforts to check the alteration of petroleum products on the Ghanaian market, the National Petroleum Authority says it will introduce a chemical that will be put in petroleum products to check its authenticity and purity.
We are introducing an indelible and an invisible chemical into the fuels, and it has already started. All the fuels you are using today has presence of that chemical in there. What this chemical will do is that any time the presence of the chemical is disturbed by any form, whether through adulteration, dilution, mixing it with anything else, when a sample of that fuel is subjected to a laboratory test, it will be very clear. It will give you all the compositions, what is exactly wrong, what is the dent in the fuel, if you can say that, what has been added, the ratio. It gives you all the properties that you need.
Public Relations Officer of the authority, Yaro Kasambata, told Joy News the new mechanism is foolproof and has been tested on a pilot base for about 9 months now.
The chemical will be put in there. It will be done. Because MP officials plus the consultants that is running the project and everybody else who matter in this scheme is present. The transporter, the OMC, the BDC, they are all present. You see now, because the thing is so punitive that everybody must be each other's keeper. If MPA didn't put the chemical in and you saw MPA didn't put it in and you let them go, it's only a matter of hours and you'll be caught downstream with a system that is not reading properly. And at that time, everybody else will be held responsible.
The NPA says it will clamp down hard on all unscrupulous persons who alter petroleum products to make some unfair gains on unsuspecting victims. The new mechanism is also expected to uproot corruption in the petroleum industry.
Dealers in Christmas gifts, particularly hampers, are lamenting over poor sales this festive season. Joynews' checks in town revealed a number of Christmas hampers awaiting customers for the Yuletide.
Christmas is a season to show love to one another. Giving is one way people show love. And for such seasons, distribution of hampers is common to corporate institutions, friends and families. For many, receiving a hamper makes the festive season exciting, and some would prefer nothing less.
Considering the content of a hamper, it will be very, very good to present such a gift to somebody during Christmas time. Moreover, too, hamper contains a lot of things, okay? So with those things, at least something will be there to excite the fellow you are giving the thing to, all right? So I think hampers, they are good for Christmas.
In spite of the clamor for hampers this season, a number of them are still left on the shelves. A drive through town revealed a number of closed businesses owing to the holiday, but traders in hampers were still in brisk business. Prices of these specially packaged gifts range from 100 cedis to 300 cedis. For dealers, the prices of these hampers are cheap considering the expensive content. Yet, market has been poor this season.
The market is down now. When you compare this year to last year, you can see there is difference. Things are going slowly. The hampers, they're not moving.
The market is down. Last year, they started buying around 20 from 20th. By this time, I started selling around from 16th up to today. I'm selling. But the market is just slow. Last year was quickly.
They are, however, hopeful the items will be cleared before the season ends. Well, the Christmas is far from over and the hampers are still heavily available on the market. You might want to get one for a loved one in case you have not done so yet this Yuletide. Abigail Admakunchi for Joy News.
I'll return with some sports news. Don't go away. Let's do some sports news now. And Asamoah Gyan has confirmed an offer from West Ham, but says he is in no position to decide on whether he will be making a return to the English Premier League. The Hammers have reportedly tabled a tempting $165,000 a week deal for the Ghana captain to augment their forward line in their bid to escape relegation. The 28-year-old has been in blistering form since joining the UAE Giants in 2011 from Sunderland. Gyan joined the bus on an initial seasons-long loan deal worth an incredible £6 million. Black Star striker then made his move permanent after helping the side to the UAE top flight title while emerging the top goal scorer. Glad you stayed on. Now, Ghana is traditionally commemorated with church services as people get ready to usher in the festive season. Some music lovers, however, chose to usher in the Yuletide with a December to Remember concert at the Accra International Conference Center.
The Accra International Conference Center has throughout the year 2013 hosted a series of events, particularly music concerts. And on Christmas Eve, it once again hosted scores of music lovers who gathered for City FM's annual December to Remember concert. Musicians like Kaki, EL, among others, charged the crowd. Guess what? Hip life artist Castro switched somewhere along the line to take patrons through a night of worship. Interesting. Well, for For most of the audience, the concert was surely one December they will remember.
Right, and so December to remember, that's how some people chose to mark their entrance into the birth of Christ. It's been totally fantastic coming your way. I'm grateful you stayed through. Like I always say, stay alive throughout the festive season. A quick recap of our headlines. And today is Boxing Day. Ghana joins the rest of the world to mark the day. Asamoah Gyan confirms an offer from West Ham but says he is in no position to decide whether he will be making a return to the English Premier League. There's more news on myjoyonline.com. Stay on and enjoy the rest of our programs. My name is Kemini Nyamani Amano. Enjoy the festive season. Goodbye.